Our father's hurts here. Come on. We must get him back to the Prima Vista. Julius remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Why would I mind? Amma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you said, it was never my intention to put you in such trouble. I'm ever in your debt. You've never done you would have done the same for me, Jimis. Besides, it was Amber here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. He is right. I've done naught to deserve your kindness, yet I am in its profanity nonetheless. I don't know if I said that right, but hey. No, every happy reunion. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying the acolyte does not work to forsake the possession of a living host by the Archon, as was assumed to be the case with Yestola and the Archbishop. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I get it. But rather absorbs the host's aether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to the host's body. If that is the case, our Shalian allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you were looking for? The legend would have us believe that Delta Heriel was the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of this Zodiac Brave story. But as I have discovered, there was another, two others in fact, siblings whose roles faded from subsequent retelling of the story. A brother and sister named by the names of Ramza and Amalia. Then, to prepare the assignment, I probed over every published work on Ilkian's legend I could lay my hands on, and nowhere did I find mention of these siblings. But I did, and uncovered infallible evidence that Delta had come close companions named Ramza, who aided him in rise to power, then turned. This in turn led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my children after those players. Ah. I'm sorry, I've never told you any of this, Sid, but you must believe me. Envias has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is forever will be my calling, my purpose, my family's purpose. Go on. I'm gonna get tired of reading. This is gonna be a long cutscene, I can tell. The world knows me as Julius Saltius, but yet this is but my stage name. My true name is Alsham Dira. Cordless generations past, it was my ancestors who planned the German papers and the account of Aelsis and the War of the Lions that detail what truly occurred during the turbulent era. You are tired, Father. Rest, I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Oran Dara crossed paths with both Ramza and Delta. After Delta rose to power, Orhan found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lions, Orhan believed the people of Ilvance had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learnt of this intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burnt at the stake. Oh, lovely. The Durham papers were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed in the church vaults. The truth about the errants along with them. Why was so damning that it would drive the church to do such a thing? The answer to your question can be found in this book, the only saving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down from untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore the honor of my family name. Forbidden Chronicles, a family legacy. Not that I don't doubt Julius, but how do you expect to convince people of all of this? Well, nigh every soul in the realm believes Yves to be nothing but a bedtime story. by proving that it was anything but. And when people see that evidence was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for a review, we would, of course, have done so long ago, but alas, it is not. The Dora papers you see are written in high invalency, an ancient tongue long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him labored tirelessly to decipher this tome. But for what of our sources made only fitful progress, a word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until recently expeditions of Ravenastor turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. Then the diary stolen by the Bagamba hunters, I'm afraid so. Everything we learned of the language was contained in those papers. Then we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcript, which we have some few translated passages, and of course my father's irreplaceable memory. I've come too far to allow a simple setback differ me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth, if it is the last thing I do. It is as Master Garland says. He is a man obsessed, and I fear Evelyn's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Ravenastor with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you will keep him safe, please. Oh, boy. After what I've seen here, I'm all but convinced that Avalons exist, at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the prospect that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been shy from a challenge, especially what it means the story of the century. If you're in, Amber, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me soon. That much is I promise you. Sweet. And I think we're done. Oh my god. Oh, there was a lot to that. There was a lot to that story, but I did enjoy it. I did like the the raid. That was fun. I didn't fight the final boss though.